Our distinguished guest for today's function is Professor Alok Kumar Rai, the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Lucknow University. An avid academician and a prominent figure in management education, Professor Rai holds expertise in the areas of customer relationship management, marketing management, and entrepreneurship development. As Vice Chancellor of Lucknow University, his key priority is to enhance the educational framework in the university and streamline it with the expectations of modern learners. His efforts are constantly directed towards creating a culture of conscientiousness in the university. We are indeed honored by your kind presence, sir, and would request you to please step forward and enlighten us by your talk on decoding the role of teachers in Education 4 regime.
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much. Most respected Vice Chancellor, King's George Medical University, Pro Vice Chancellor, Dean Academics, Professor who said he is going to retire in coming 10 days. I say a teacher never retires. So you're not retiring. Dear friends and students, a very happy Teachers' Day to all of you. Interestingly, what I saw on the board is it's a Teachers' Day celebration. And the title that the madam comparing said was sounding too academic. Now, a celebration with heavy loaded content might not gel well. So what I'll do is, I'll shift the focus onto something which I can talk about and you can easily digest. But I'll share some interesting observations of teachers in my life from different subject areas. A professor of computer science in an institute, I saw her when a student was asking about a programming issue, she solved it. Student was repeatedly asking, Madam, मुझे बता दीजिए ये कैसे होगा, and she was solving it. Student left. I asked her कि आप ये बता देती, आपका झंझट खत्म हो जाता है, you know, एक बार बता दो कि हम बता देंगे तो कल से मेरे पास कैसे आएगा ये. Teacher 1. Teacher 2, a relative of mine who has been a graduate of this institution, great institution only, from Varanasi, who was pursuing his MCH from Banaras Hindu University. I won't reveal other details. He said, in my batch of MCH, because the MCH students, they would be looking for कि कितना ज़्यादा केस करने को मिले, उतना ज़्यादा हमारी practice हो, उतनी ज़्यादा learning हो. And the teacher would not provide them the opportunity. So he said, laughingly, we used to talk among ourselves, जो उनका subject area था, that I don't want to name, कि ये discipline इनके साथ ही दुनिया से चला जाएगा. She is so possessive about this. I have seen, I'm professor at Banaras Hindu University. We have a very famous Institute of Medical Sciences, which recently got upgraded to the AIIMS-like institution status. So we do a lot of collaborative project with Medical Institute. In Department of Community Medicine, there was a professor, I again won't name him, and an MD student. The MD student used to work for the dissertation. I was one of the co-supervisor. So in one of the discussion, when I went to his department, we were sitting, the way professor was treating, well, even I was feeling bad. So when I came out of the room, I told that fellow कि भाई ऐसा होता है, टीचर लोग ऐसे होते हैं. I thought कि उसको बहुत बुरा ना लग रहा हो. This is teacher 3. Then there is teacher 4. Professor in my subject area at an IIT where the department is at 5th floor of the building. She very proudly was telling me once कि वो मैंने बच्चे की, you know, research scholars they keep showing you their progress reports. मैंने बाहर फेंक दिया खिड़की से. Now, I don't know if they qualify to be a teacher, but then these are facts of life. Let us not conclude, let us not deduce, let us not be judgmental, let us not try to derive meaning based on this simple data, because these are simple data. If I ask you, how many of you have got smartphones who are sitting here? Almost everyone? Almost everyone. Very interestingly, when Professor Chaturvedi was speaking, I did not find even a single one using it. Though I was amused, I was constantly on my cell. This is how life has become. And this is how the practices have become. Before coming to this hall, I was sitting with the Vice Chancellor and he was sharing an experience how difficult these mobile phones have made the life. कि खाने की प्लेट कहीं रखी है उसकी भी फ़ोटो खींची और खटाखट व्हाट्सअप करी एंड देन व्हाट्सअप गोज़ आपके कॉलीग्स होंगे यूएस में तो वहाँ भी चली गई कि देखिए साहब आपके खाने की प्लेट कहाँ रखी है आपकी यूनिवर्सिटी में. दिस इज व्हाट इज इंडस्ट्री 4.0. From Industrial Revolution 1, 2, 3 and 4, modern industries are highly technology oriented. Now what is the impact of this change in the culture of the industry? The net result is we are finding a society 4.0 where I am speaking, and I might be speaking live. If the program was at my university, it would have been going on my university's YouTube channel. So I might be speaking live. Even if I make a small mistake here, that is going to be there all through my life. Because digital data is immortal. Had this not been the case, what would have happened is, मैं बोल के 2-4 लाइन गलत भी होता तो मैं कहता वो मिसकोट कर दिया, वो गलत कर दिया, ऐसे बोल दिया. But then digital data is immortal, so it will remain forever. So Industry 4.0 is leading us to Society 4.0, and it is the society where we are getting our students from and we are sending our students to. So our education also has to be Education 4.0. So this Industry 4.0 needs Student 4.0, and a very interesting fact that you all might have observed, that education is one very peculiar industry where student is the product and student is the customer. This is probably the only industry where student is the product. इन्हीं को तो आप बाहर भेज रहे हैं, इन्हीं को आप बेच रहे हैं बाहर समाज के लिए, और इन्हीं को आपको अट्रैक्ट करना है. See, the very purpose of any educational institution is student. So, समाज से आए हुए बच्चे को वापस समाज में वैल्यू डाल के भेजना है, तभी इंस्टीट्यूशन की वैल्यू है. एंड एनी इंस्टीट्यूशन is actually offers a value proposition. We subscribe value. Now value is simple, benefit upon cost. What leading institutions are doing, what great institutions are doing, that they are focusing on the numerator and not denominator. To increase value, we have got two options. Either increase numerator or reduce denominator. Smart institutions play both ways. Now, how to increase value? And when will this be perceived if we are adding value? It is only through our students. This is what Honorable Vice Chancellor just informed me, that we have some students also present right here in the hall. So I'm addressing this issue, and very important is, since these students are our product, lot of studies in past 20 years across discipline conducted in India talked not about unemployment or issue of employment, but they talked about issue of employability. And this is across discipline. So this issue of employability has to have the value that are being infused in the students who are our customers. And this is where the tricky role of customer comes, because we are going to get customers from Society 4.0, impart value, and make them a valuable product which is again accepted by Society 4.0. For what we require is Education 4.0. Now, what does this Education 4.0 means? In common parlance, the most simplest interpretation of this Education 4.0 is infusion of technology, primarily digital technology. We talk of artificial intelligence, we talk of machine learning, we talk of IoT, we talk of robotics. Infusion of these technologies, largely digital technologies, in the domain of education. And we all must have experienced the very significance of this during last 1.5 years of COVID. So, are we readying ourselves to match the curriculum and pedagogical framework responses to this infusion of digital technology? What role will digital technology play? What difference will there be in the overall student learning experience? There was a movie, Tanu Vets Manu, and the male protagonist of the movie says कि मैंने MBBS किया, फिर मैंने engineering की, फिर मैंने MBBS किया. Now, while watching the movie, I said, ये क्या बेवकूफ़ी है? Because the common perception of the society is, बच्चा after engineering, after intermediate, either goes for medical or engineering. Then he says कि मैंने इंजीनियरिंग करी, मैंने MBBS किया, इंजीनियरिंग करी, मतलब दोनों आगे पीछे, एंड अभी मैं पेसमेकर बनाता हूँ इंग्लैंड में. This is what such kind of infusion in modern education is not leading to confusion but to decision. And this is what is the very, very complex framework that is coming our way. Now, what is the role of the teacher in this? Now, the teacher very categorically has to work towards identifying the key affordances and challenges of Education 4.0, the challenges to establish pedagogies and course design. Do these potentially disruptive technologies present to the present set of course of education? How the institutions need to redesign curricula to support lifelong learning, online learning, and also developing skills to make our products, that is our students, future ready, and also what practical lessons can be learned from early adopters. I don't know the state of adoption of these specific digital technologies in the education at KGMU, but then if there are institutions who have already infused this into the system, what can be learned from the early adopters? Very interestingly, in Education 4.0, it is giving birth to a new form of higher learning institutions which is intellectually agile. So, to survive, the modern students need critical thinking and problem solving, unlike the conventional model of learning. Then collaboration across networks and leading by influences. Very important across discipline, the effective communication, creativity, curiosity and imagination, agility and adaptability, initiative and entrepreneurship, and assessing and analyzing information. Because when I said in the first part is that what all I'm saying, the 4 cases that I talked about are data. Now these data are not information. So let us not jump onto conclusion based on the data. So this is one very important thing that students have got to be trained into, to differentiate data with information and develop the ability to convert data into information. As teacher, we all must have had different teachers in our life. We all must have had different learnings from our teachers. One of the teacher of mathematics that I attended class of, I learned him कि क्लास में बोर्ड कैसे साफ करते हैं. एंड इट वाज सो पर्टिकुलर, मतलब एक बार लिख के वो साफ कर दें तो ऐसा लगे एकदम नया बोर्ड हो गया. सो वन टीचर taught me how to engage students in the class. Some certainly taught us how important is the conceptual clarity of what we are teaching in the class is. Some issues, Professor Chaturvedi was very appropriately and very subtly pointing out the involvement of teacher in the life of student and the impact that it does make. But with all these changes taking place in the field of education, are we receptive enough? Are we receptive enough? वो एक कहीं गांव में मंदिर बन रहा था, तो एक बाहर से आदमी आया, उसने पूछा कि साहब आप काम क्यों नहीं कर रहे? तो उसने कहा साहब भूख लगी, भूखे पेट कहीं काम होता है. तो थोड़ी देर बाद वो काफ़ी देर बाद आया कि खाना वाना खा लिए हो, फिर देखा वो आदमी वैसे ही पड़ा हुआ है. तो बोले आप काम नहीं कर रहे हैं, अब तो खाना खा लिया आपने. क्या बताइए खाना खा के काम होता है? So, if are we receptive enough to all these changes that are taking place in the ecosystem, and are we changing our institution? That is why I talked about intellectual agility. This receptivity, all these changes are coming before us. Are we ready to accept this? Are we ready as a teacher? Are we ready to inculcate competence, the character of competence among our students? Now, how do we define competence? It is a mix of 3 things. Of course, one, knowledge. But, तो हमने बताया गाड़ी कैसे चलती है. ये क्लच होता है, ये एक्सेलरेटर होता है, ये ब्रेक होता है, ये स्टीयरिंग होती है, गियर होता है. This is knowledge. Then skill, how to use that knowledge. But very, very important, and probably the most important, and this is why one professional is different from other, this is what makes one professional different from other, is the motive. So knowledge, skill and motive creates competence. We as a teacher working towards and being successful in cultivating the character of competence in our customers who are our students. हमारी तनख्वाह उसकी वजह से आती है. So are we doing that? This is one very, very important issue that we all have got to ponder upon. This, the dynamics of the ecosystem is leading to the changes. I would urge you all to be ready to take that into your stride and make the education 4.0 built into the system of the institution to be an agile institution, and then only we shall be able to produce the product for Society 4.0. This is all from my side. Thank you for providing me an opportunity to come before you all and share my views. A very happy Teachers' Day to you all. Thank you.